Guys, I can hardly believe I'm saying it, but welcome to the final episode of this series. Now, this morning we are still on board Norwegian Escape, and I'm getting ready to close off one of the best cruises that I've honestly ever had. I've loved every second on this ship this week. Now, today and in this episode, we are about to cruise in to New York Harbour, which, yeah, I'm still having to pinch myself that is even happening this morning, but it's early. It's currently 5:15 in the morning, and we should be picking up our pilot around now, which means that, to be honest, it's time for me to get out to the top deck. Now, in this episode, I'm going to show you what it looks like to cruise into New York on a huge, huge mega ship, and then also close off on what has been a pretty remarkable week. Now, weather-wise out there, I haven't been outside, but I think it's raining, which means that my choice of shorts and t-shirt probably isn't great. I've also got my ski jacket over there, so that's going to go on. But unfortunately, I made the decision yesterday, in my infinite wisdom, to pack my suitcase and leave it outside my room, and my outfit for today was a pair of shorts. So I think I might be shivering outside this morning. But look, let's head upstairs, have a look and see what it looks like to cruise into one of the most iconic harbours on the planet. As I got out onto the top deck this morning, we were in the process of picking up our pilot. That means that we were collecting a port expert who would guide the ship ashore. The first attraction, I guess, that we would pass under would be the Verrazzano-Narrows Bridge. Now, this bridge is about a mile long and it connects Brooklyn to Staten Island. Look at how close Norwegian Escape comes to just scraping along the bottom of that bridge. Amazing. I will never tire of looking at these bridge passes when I go in and out of some cities. They just blow my mind. If you've never had a bridge pass on your cruise, try and book one. They are so fascinating. Right under the bridge, we then passed Liberty of the Seas, the Royal Caribbean ship, waiting to make her approach. Anyway, it was time for me to head into breakfast, and that's where I met the majority of my other cruisers. I couldn't believe that all these people were just in here having food at the buffet when the view was so amazing outside. Anyway, I guess if you live local to New York, you wouldn't appreciate it as much, would you? Anyway, after a lap of the buffet, I then landed with my snack plate before heading out for one of the views I had been looking forward to all week. Passing past the Statue of Liberty first thing in the morning when the harbour is lovely and quiet. There was almost nobody else out on those top decks. I honestly felt as though the captain of this cruise ship had arranged for me to have a private arrival into New York. Take it from me, if you are cruising into the Big Apple, rather than crush out on deck for sail away, why not get up early in the morning and come out for these views? After we passed the Statue of Liberty, that's when I saw it for the first time this morning, the skyline of New York. I could not stop thinking throughout this sail-in just how fortunate I felt to be able to experience this at some point in my life. I would love to do this again. It is such a bucket list moment, and I get chills thinking about the silence of the ship gliding up that waterway and looking at a huge city which seemed to be just waking up. Rather than speaking over this at the moment, I want to leave you to enjoy some of the views, and I'll speak to you when we pull into the dock. Guys, what a morning. We are now in Manhattan, slap bang in the middle of New York. Still can't believe how central this cruise terminal is. If you've been following my channel for my last series, you'll know that I cruised into Brooklyn on board MSC Meraviglia. And it was cool, it was a really good novelty to be near New York, but this, you are basically surrounded by the Manhattan skyline. It is amazing. I've never seen a cruise port anything like this before. But look, I have had such a great sail in there. I actually met an amazing family further down the ship there, and I actually just managed to sail in with them, which was so nice. We were chatting the whole way up the river. Yeah, so if you guys find me on YouTube and you happen to find this video, then genuinely, thank you so much for that, because you've just made my day. Yeah, really enjoyed that. Look guys, anyway, I need to go inside to try and warm up, because as you know, I've got my shorts on and I am struggling, to be perfectly honest with you. So look, join me back down in my cabin where I've left the heating on, so it's going to be delightful down there. And let's talk about the plan for the rest of today, and also let's think about wrapping up on this cruise. Right, I'm delighted to report that the heating is on. I am beginning to feel my fingers again, which is such good news. Do you know, being in a cold weather climate this last 2 weeks has felt very unusual for me, because up until now, about 2 months ago I flew to LA, and ever since I've been in warm climates. So when I came to New York to go on my last cruise, it was still quite mild, but this week, my goodness, what a change in the weather this week there's been. Now, I'm next going to be back in New York the middle of December, so I think it's going to be really cold. And I'm hoping that it might even be white around then. So, yeah, who knows, maybe we'll have a bit of a white Christmas experience here in New York City in a couple of weeks' time. But look, today, that sailing into New York was actually so much better than sailing out of New York. The main reason for that is that when we sailed out last week, those decks were so busy. There were people literally everywhere, where any pictures I got of me on the top deck also have about 30 people in the background. But that today, at times it basically felt like it was only me up there. It was so quiet, and I think that's just because it was such an unsociable hour. Now, to be honest, we did benefit big time, or I benefited big time from this. So last night, the ship moved time zone, which was great. So we went back 1 hour. So my wake up call went off at 4:50 this morning, but that was the new 4:50. So actually, I got to bed at like 10:30 last night, 10:30 or 11 o'clock. So I have had a decent sleep. And to be honest, I'm kind of hoping that because I haven't had a full night's sleep, that'll mean that tonight I'll get my head down as we fly across the Atlantic. So yeah, always make sure, guys, if you're on a ship where you think the time zone will change, just bring an analog watch, because there's nothing worse than waking up in the morning and not knowing what time it is. This ship's fine because on the phone it constantly says what time it is, and as soon as the clock changes, it'll change automatically in your cabin. But not all ships have that, so just be really mindful of any time changes. Now, this cruise, honestly, it's been spectacular. So I was last on here in 2018, and it was my first ever cruise, as you know, and I loved it so much. I had the best time, which is why I then fell in love with the cruise industry. And I was a little bit nervous coming on here this week, to be honest with you, because I was really worried that I would feel disappointed. I was worried it wouldn't be as good as I remembered it being. And honestly, it's been every bit as good. The only thing I would say is tripping Norwegian up this week is that the ship is busy. This is a busy ship. And I think they were saying we've had about 5,300 people on board this week, which means that we're actually sailing at far more than double occupancy of this ship. So yeah, it's been busy, but that said, when you're in this little haven of, not the haven is very exclusive, but when you're in this little haven of studio solo cabins, you do feel a little bit different to the rest of the ship because we've got our own lounge, we've got our own coffee place, so you're not really mixing with the crowds in the same way all the time as what you would be in regular cabins. But I've met quite a lot of people around the ship who have said, yeah, it's a bit too busy. Like getting tables in the buffet, I find that I often share with families or share with couples and crash date day when I walk in because it's very difficult to find a table in there. Now, yeah, other than that though, it's been amazing. Our ports have been amazing. The ship generally, I mean the facilities on here are absolutely brilliant. It's been cold though, so a lot of the outdoor stuff has been moved inside and all the poolside things have all been cancelled just because it's not been weather for lying outside on literally any day of our cruise this week. But yeah, what would my highlight of this cruise be? I think either Bar Harbour or Portland. I've fallen in love with both of those ports this cruise. And Portland, I'm delighted I got to see another side of it. And Bar Harbour, I'll definitely be back there. That's one of those places that, yeah, it's now on my bucket list to return because I've got so many things I want to do there. So I'm definitely going to return to Bar Harbour and spend a minimum of a night or two there because honestly, it is incredible. But look, plan now. Oh, what do I need to do now? So, I'm going home. I'm going home, which I am really, really excited to go home today. I've been a little bit homesick on this ship and also my last ship. So I'm really looking forward to going back for about a week and a half. And I'm going back for my dad's 60th birthday, which should be really good. So we've got a house in the Lake District in England for a whole week. And I am just going to chill and yeah, just catch up on life. And I'm really loving all my time at sea this year, but I'm just really looking forward to being home for a bit. And yeah, I think this ship and the last ship's taught me that I'm maybe a bit more of a homebird than what I thought I was. So yeah, really looking forward to a little period at home. And I can't really believe that this time tomorrow I'm going to be in the UK. Yeah. Yeah, it's very emotional actually thinking about that. But tonight I'm flying from JFK back over to London Gatwick with North Atlantic, which was an airline that I've never tried before. So I'll capture some bits and show you what that looks like. And yeah, I'll be waking up in London tomorrow morning. There's an announcement.
Once again, a very good morning, Escape Cruisers. This is
I don't think I can talk over that. Give me 1 second and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So, my next ship. Oh, I can't wait. My next ship. So I'm flying from London to Barcelona in about a week and a half's time. And I'm going to be boarding Virgin Voyages Valiant Lady to bring her back to the Caribbean. So that is going to be my first ever transatlantic cruise. Never done that before. I've never sailed with Virgin for any more than, 4 nights? So I'm looking forward to seeing what that is like for a 14-night experience. And I'm cruising over Halloween. So there's a lot to cover on there. And then, yeah, that will then kick off back-to-back cruising until Christmas this year. So, yeah. Oh, I'm so buzzing, guys. But look, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to head out of here. I'm hoping to get up to the Haven for a tour, actually. They said that they'll give me a tour of that on Disembarkation Day. So I'm hoping to get up there for a look around. And then it's going to be the journey to the airport. Are you ready for the world premiere of Fraser in a fancy part of a cruise ship? I'll tell you, this doesn't happen often, so in we go. If you've never heard of the Haven from Norwegian, this is a suite-only area that's totally reserved for people staying in the best cabins or staterooms on the ship. This is absolutely mind-blowing. For someone who usually cruises on the inside of the ship, I absolutely loved having a look around here, and I will be forever grateful to Norwegian for offering to let me have a look around. In here you had a courtyard, you had a private lounge, there was even a private restaurant. There were so many staff in here. I was able to walk up the corridor that took you to some of the staterooms to get to these venues, and let me tell you, the rooms that were being changed over were absolutely amazing. I didn't video them just because they were in the process of getting made up, but oh my goodness. Maybe one day I will try and stay in here, but oh yes, it looked amazing. Look at this deck, which is outside. This is right at the very front of the ship. The deck out here, I think, was adults only, and I can only imagine how relaxing this must be when the rest of the ship is so busy. Anyway, as much as it pains me to say it, it's time to leave the suite-only area back into my section to leave the ship in one of the biggest cities on the planet. After one final glance round at my home from home for the last week, it was time to head through the terminal and into the city. Okay guys, I am now off the ship, and do you know what? Disembarkation today was one of the easiest disembarkations I've seen all year. As you will know, I never really feel the need to rush off a ship as soon as we dock, and yeah, that means that I can enjoy the ship. And disembarkation there, they gave us right up until about 10:15 this morning to enjoy the ship. So the way that Norwegian works is that you have to be out of your cabin by 8:30 in the morning, so a little bit later than a lot of other cruise lines, and then you can just enjoy the public areas right up until your luggage label is called. Now, because I don't really have anywhere to be until later today, I thought I'd wait until the very final number, or the very final colour, which was about 10 o'clock this morning. So really good. And I'm in New York, it's sunny, I'm still wearing my shorts, and do you know what? I'm now not regretting it. I can't believe we've had a fully dry morning, the sun's now coming out, and instead of Ubering down to the train station, I've decided to walk. So my route home from here is home, how funny. My route home from here is going to be to go from Manhattan Cruise Terminal down 5 blocks, I think, and then turn into the city, and then end up at Penn Station. Now from there, I should be able to take a train all the way to JFK. So yeah, at that point, this adventure is going to end. So look, let me show you a little bit of what we see on the way down to the train at Penn Station, as if this is happening in New York City.
Myself wondering what did happen to the last 10. I ran away with my life, fast forward, never turn back again. It's kind of funny that the more we pass time, the more we need to set them rewind. And 19 was the year I had to leave you, but now I'm seeing all the signs. Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised as you. This really happening? I can't be too sure, but one day I'll be yours again. Life lessons come 1 in a dozen. The other 11 give something from nothing. I sit here looking for an answer. Maybe the biggest question was in the last chapter. You gave me the soul I have today. Without you I never could have moved away. But now I see what you teach. I do believe I always should have stayed. Yeah. Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised as you. Is this really happening?
Okay guys, and just like that took about 40 minutes to walk from the cruise terminal, and I am now right in the middle of Times Square, which is mad. Now anyway, this is where this episode, and therefore this series, is going to end, because all that's going to happen now is I'm going to have my final coffee and begin winding down to get ready to settle into bed, aka my chair tonight, to hopefully sleep all the way across the Atlantic. So look, wherever you're watching this video from, I really hope you've enjoyed this week, seeing a little bit about life on board Norwegian Escape. If you have, it would be amazing if you could jump down below and give the video a thumbs up. And while you're there, why not come along with me for more ships? Just click subscribe and that'll be you on the journey. But look, from right here in the middle of Times Square, New York, thank you so much for following along, and I will see all of you in my next video and on the next ship. Cheers guys, bye. If you enjoyed this video today, did you know that you can become a member of my YouTube channel for an exclusive behind the scenes look at some of the ships that I'm travelling on? If you're over on Patreon, then I would love to see you over there. All you have to do to join me on that community is just search www.patreon.com/Fraser@Sea. Both my YouTube memberships and my Patreon site lead directly to me getting on more cruise ships, and both offer a completely behind the scenes look at what's going on.